welcome back for another video. This one is a flip through my scrapbook to my trip to Romania at the beginning of 2025. Yeah, it was the beginning of this year. So my boyfriend and I went for our 2-year anniversary. Oh gosh, I forgot then. I couldn't remember if it was 2 or 3. 2-year anniversary. We chose Romania because I was doing some Googling for like the best spas in Europe, and the Therm in Bucharest came up as an option. And then I thought, oh, I've never really considered Romania before. So I started doing some research and it looked like a really cool place to visit. So yeah, we settled on that. So we flew out on the 2nd of January 2025 and we were there for 3 nights. Yeah, and we did loads and we saw lots. It was a trip that didn't exactly go to plan. It was one of those things where sort of everything we tried to do went a little bit wrong, but we still had a really nice time. So this was our sort of flight info. So we flew from London Heathrow to Bucharest, sort of the main international airport. And because it was January, both Romania, which I was sort of wasn't expecting, and Heathrow still had like a lot of Christmassy things there. So we just got I got a hot chocolate from Cafe Nero, and because it's got sort of got a Christmas label, I'd stuck that in. So this was just our view coming out of London. I love flying from Heathrow, even though it's a pain to get to from where I live. It's sort of my favourite airport for flying out in terms of scenery, because I love that you fly over London. So in there somewhere is Wembley Stadium, so I managed to snap a picture of that. This was just sort of like our flight info. And when we landed, we got the train from the airport into the city, which was so easy to do. And it was so cheap, it cost us like £1 each. So yeah, this was our ticket, and the station is beautiful. So yeah, the trip was about, the journey was about 25 minutes, half an hour, and we went through the Romanian countryside, which was really pretty. These are just some stickers that I bought off Amazon. They are, I can't remember the name of the company, but I'll try and put it on screen if I remember. But the stickers are really cool. They're sort of, yeah, I don't know how to describe them, but I really like the style of them. So yeah, just got the Romanian flag. I put the picture of the train there, and then that's obviously just what Romania looks like. So we stayed at a place called the Vision Apartments, and these were really nice. It was a nice hotel, and they were really reasonably priced, and it was a good central location for everything we wanted to do and getting around. It was about a mile and a half from Bucharest train station, so we did have to walk, but once you were in the centre of Bucharest, it was a really good location. I also liked it as well because you didn't get given a key. You had a PIN code to get into your room, so you didn't have to worry about forgetting your key or anything. I had to be quite experimental with this scrapbook because I only had a few pages left, and I knew that I had a lot of photos, so I had to pick out from an old scrapbook with some leftover pages, had to pick out a load of blank ones and then sort of make lots of flip pages with this one, so I'm gonna have to keep moving the book around. So yeah, this was outside the hotel and then in the lobby. So yeah, I was really surprised that they still had Christmas decorations up, even though obviously you don't have to take them down until the 6th of January. But I was surprised by, yeah, how Christmassy it still was. This was just the little business card. And then the main reason we booked this one is because it had a pool. So we just went and chilled in the pool after a long day of travelling. Got given robes and slippers, which was really cool. Annoyingly, the jacuzzi wasn't working, but you know, it's not the end of the world. We sort of did some lengths, and I like that there was this kind of waterfall showery thing at the end of the pool, which was cool. And then just got some Romanian money there. I found it really reasonably priced. Bucharest. It was a really cheap city to visit. And then we booked a hotel room with a balcony, which was nice. And then this was the view from it at night. It was a bit dodgy though, because it was just sort of like a grill. It wasn't a solid balcony, and Lee hates heights, so he didn't spend much time out there. Oh gosh, this is... Okay, so our plan on the first day was to go back to Bucharest station and get the train to Sinaia and do like our own day trip around the castles. However, we got to the station and the train was fully booked, which is probably a mishap on my part. I didn't expect it to be fully booked or to be crowded. So we had to sort of have a rethink of what we wanted to do and swap our plans a little bit. So we ended up booking a day trip for the next day to go and visit all the castles. So that will be coming sort of further on. So sort of we then thought, well, we've got this day where we've got nothing to do. So we sort of just switched our itinerary around, because on the second day we had planned to kind of do the sights of Bucharest. So yeah, we just wandered around all day, seeing all the different sites, sort of like all the buildings. I really like that their drain covers have got Bucharest written on them and like an emblem. And then we found this lovely park, which was really cool, and we had a stroll around there. We were really lucky with the weather. It was cold, but it wasn't raining, it was dry, so that was nice. And then, oh gosh. So yeah, this is like based on the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. So we took a picture of this as we went past on our coach trip. But yeah, we just wandered, and I loved all the buildings, how sort of like ornate they were. Yeah, they were really, really pretty. So this was... yeah, there's some sort of more buildings. The old town was really nice to wander around. Sort of like all the buildings had lots of detail on them. And then food-wise, we didn't really sample much Romanian food, but we did find an Italian and sort of had pasta and pizza. And yeah, this whole meal with beer, Coke, pizza, pasta, some garlic bread, and we had a dessert as well, cost us £30 for the both of us, so it was really reasonably priced. And then we found a Greek restaurant. There were lots of Greek restaurants, which I was really surprised at. Didn't think there would be a big Greek influence in Romania. So yeah, we got a pita gyros, which was yummy. And we sat outside in like one of these glass igloos to eat it, which was really cool. So this is part of the old town. So the buildings looked a little bit run down, but they still were really cool. And then we walked past this cat and it just looked like it was reading the menu, which was really cute. I just realised I haven't actually done this in any particular order. I've just sort of stuck all the photos in where they fit. So yeah, this was the park that we found, and we sort of just had a wander around. This was really quiet, which was really nice. Sort of sat on the bridge in the sunshine. Yeah, it was really nice. And then we found this old church, and we had a little wander around and sort of just sat and like took it all in. And then this is the famous Umbrella Street, which I didn't realise was literally across the road from our hotel, so it was really easy to find that, and that was cool. And then we went to the Parliament Palace, and this was really impressive. It's supposedly the heaviest building in the world, because it's made out of marble, and it's actually sinking because it's so heavy. So yeah, it was really impressive, and we took some pictures and sort of tried to get like an angle shot there. So yeah, we sat on this little bench for a long time, just sort of thinking and talking. So yeah, that was really nice. And then here, there's just some more pictures of the park. And yeah, because there were still lots of Christmas like bits, the front of the hotels were really nicely decorated. So yeah, just took lots of pictures of those. This looked a really fancy hotel. Would have loved to have known how much it was to stay there. So because initially our plan had been to go to the Therm Spa on our second day, because we had to swap and do our day trip to Transylvania, then we managed to get a last minute ticket to the Therm Spa that evening. So we thankfully booked a package where entry was like you were given your ticket, so you didn't have to queue, because the queue to get in was 90 minutes long. And I mean, we still had to queue for about half an hour to get in, but we kind of got fast tracked. So yeah, this is the outside of the spa. It looks amazing, and inside is incredible. But it was so packed. I've seen so many people like on Instagram show videos of this, and they have a lovely time, and you know they hype it up and how wonderful it is, but we just went at the wrong time. So it said on the little kind of entrance thing that it was full to capacity, and there are 6,000 lockers, so that means there were 6,000 people in this place at once, and therefore it was not relaxing. If they did have advertised it as a theme park or a water park, I would have got it, but it's the fact it's advertised as a spa, and it was anything but relaxing. So yeah, technically you're not meant to take pictures, but we managed to sneak a camera in until we got told off. But yeah, you can just see how busy it is. So all the sunbeds around the edge of the pools were all taken. They all had towels on them, even though no one was sitting on them. So you couldn't sit down there. All the they've got like little seating areas in the pool. They were all taken, and we did manage to actually get ourselves onto one of these, and literally the second you got off, someone else pushed their way on. So it was very hectic and very busy. We still had a nice time. We had about 4 hours here, and we sort of just wandered through, and then this pool went outside, which was really nice because the water was lovely and warm, and obviously outside was really cold, so it was nice to sort of be in a warm, heated, it was like a big massive bath. The drinks as well, there's a swim up bar, and we had some drinks, they were really reasonably cheap. We had a little cocktail to kind of celebrate our anniversary. But yeah, it was just so busy, and unfortunately I didn't get the hype that it is on Instagram. Maybe if we'd have gone during the week. Obviously this was a Friday evening, and it was still over Christmas time. People were still on Christmas holidays, so maybe that was it. But yeah, it was very overhyped for the things you see on social media. However, we did. There we go. We did have dinner, which was really nice. We went to a Thai place, and I had a pad Thai, which is my favourite meal, and Lee had like some seafood and rice, which, yeah, the food was yummy. It was really nice. But overall, maybe if we go back to the Therm at a less busy time, it might be better, but excuse me. Yeah, it wasn't what I expected it to be, but it was still a nice afternoon. And then we did have a coach pickup to take us back to Bucharest, which was handy. So then the next day we started our day trip to Transylvania. It was a very early pickup. I think we were picked up at about 6 o'clock, and we started the drive up to Transylvania. We were going to Sinaia and then to Bran and Brasov, and it was such a long day. It was worth it, but yeah, very long day. It took us about an hour and a half to get there, but then 5 hours to get back because we just got stuck in so much traffic. So yeah, we didn't get back till about 11 o'clock at night, so it was a very long day. But the scenery was just absolutely stunning. It was so nice with the snow on the ground. And then sort of all the old buildings were beautiful. So our first stop was Pelesh Castle, and this is in Sanaia. And this was the old residence for the Romanian royal family. And so it's tucked away, hidden in the forest, which was the setting for it was beautiful. So yeah, we waited in the courtyard to get our tickets. Again, because we booked a day trip, our guide could pre-book our tickets for us, so we didn't have to queue. But fortunately, we got there for the first entrance, which was good. And so we had a little bit of a guided tour through the castle, which was incredible. Like, I love this wooden staircase, the chandeliers, like all the armor, the swords and the weapons. And then this door frame is sort of made entirely of marble. And then this bookcase here is actually a secret door. So it like leads to a hidden passageway, which was really cool. And then just the ceiling in the grand hall was really cool. And then once we'd had the guided tour, we were then we then had some free time outside to wander the grounds. Again, this was so pretty in the snow. Unfortunately, some of the castle had scaffolding on it. You can see that there. So yeah, we just tried to get a bit without any scaffolding on it, and the gardens were beautiful. It was incredible. And then after that, we drove to Bran, and we stopped off in the little town, which was really cool. And we got some time later on to have a look at all the market stalls. But our main point of visit here was Bran Castle, which is the inspiration for Dracula's castle. So we did have to have a bit of a wait here to get in. And compared to Pelesh Castle, this is a lot more basic. Some people would say this is overhyped, and I can kind of get it. There's not really much in each of the rooms, but it is still, I still really enjoyed it. Sort of seeing all the kind of buildings and like all the walkways, and it was spooky. It did feel spooky, and I can imagine at Halloween they'd go all out, and yeah, it did sort of feel quite spooky. But the views from the top of it were amazing. It was very busy again, and sort of you didn't really get time to properly, even though there wasn't much in each room, you didn't really get a chance to properly kind of soak it all in. So it was quite rushed. But yeah, we still saw lots. And yeah, because I'd heard that sort of this wasn't as impressive as you'd think it would be, it was therefore more impressive than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I'm really glad that we went. And then there's just some more rooms. So a couple of photo spots there. And then we went out into the grounds, which was really cool. So again, more Christmas trees, and sort of just in the snow. It was absolutely beautiful. And sort of like a little lake, and sort of in the forest. It was just the perfect setting. And then our final stop of the day was Brasov, which is another city in Transylvania. And I like that they've got a Brasov sign, a bit like the Hollywood sign, which was really cool. And the buildings were beautiful. I really liked Brasov, actually. I'm glad we stopped here. So yeah, sort of lots of oldie-woldy buildings. And then we stopped in a cafe to get a cup of tea, and they had these napkins, and it's sort of like if you like if you're having a coffee and you see someone you like the look of, you can fill in all your details. So it says like, I would like to meet you for a drink or two. Oh no, the glue smudged in 10 minutes in front of the bathroom, and then like you write your name and your number on and you can give it to someone if you like the look of them. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then they still had some Christmas markets going on here. So yeah, we just wandered around here for a couple of hours, which was really nice. So again, all the buildings were really colourful, really pretty. And then a few last ones. And then these stickers are stickers that came in the pack I had, but we didn't visit these places, so I didn't want to not use them, but I just put them, yeah, on the last page here. Yeah, there's the last page, so that I could still use them. So yeah, that was Romania. Even though everything didn't go to plan, still really enjoyed the trip and thought it was a lovely country. So yeah, glad I visited it, and yeah, enjoyed everything we saw. So thank you for watching this video. Sorry, I think it's a bit of a long one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.